Hi there. I've just watched Maria Arpa interviewing or having a talk with Mark McDonald on Maria Arpa's channel, which I've just subscribed to. It was a really very moving discussion and conversation. And Maria's brilliant. I mean, I'd never seen her channel before, and I was looking up some of the websites that are there out about her. She's like a Reiki master as well, and does all this mediation work, and and she was really. It was very moving, I thought, and I had a lot of feelings during it, and real spikes of when Mark McDonald's talking about the Court of Appeal, and they don't like going beyond the finality of the verdict. And they don't like overturning things. This is the thing that just makes me want to scream. Not that he's saying it, but that's what they're like. And then, I'm not sure what else I want to say about the conversation. There was a bit at the end towards the end, where Maria Arpa says, if you had a magic wand, what would you change right now? And he said, and I was thinking, is he going to say, well, the Court of Appeal? But he says, no, it's the not fit for purpose, unregulated expert world of experts. People can just rock up like Evans and say, I'm an expert, sounds like my kind of case, and goes up there, has a cup of tea, and he makes a murderer in 10 minutes, and the police just go with it all. That's got to stop. Exactly. And that makes sense to do it then, because you don't want to get a miscarriage of justice via some of these many bogus self-claimed experts. Just call yourself an expert. I think as Mark said, just have a white coat and a stethoscope. Just go there and you can be one, And it's not just medical, is it? It might be somebody into geology. I remember the case of, it was part of the Rough Justice series, the case of Barry White. Not the soul singer, but the guy from around the Milton Keynes area, I think it was, or southern England anyway, wrongly convicted of the murder of his girlfriend, all down to this junk science by this guy who was into, geology and that kind of area of stuff. He just made up this complete load of crap about these little bits of flint that's coming off a lighter, that they're unique, but they're totally ubiquitous and they're all the same. So, get it on any lighter. So it was just junk science, but it took years and years and years to overturn that. Same kind of scenario as with Lucy Letby, that you've got to go out and get absolutely the best experts you can possibly find and get all their reports, and it takes years, and it's, oh God, to overturn this crap. This is the same dynamic, to overturn this crap of this junk science. I mean, to call what Evans said and did junk science would be to praise it to the moon, wouldn't it? Because it doesn't even reach the level of junk science. It's the sick, twisted emanations of a poisoned, diseased, dysregulated personality. Somebody with a personality disorder. That's what Evans is, in my humble opinion. What else from about the talk with Maria Arpa? Well, it was just very. What shines through, of course, is Mark McDonald's absolute dedication, and the fact he's being reported by, obviously, some right bastards out there. And why is he being reported to his governing body? And potentially threatening his livelihood, is because he's challenging the status quo, and and the status quo is hideous. The status quo. I think he said that, just a bit earlier in the conversation, he said, the problem is not that they. I don't know if there's a shade of meaning here that he kind of made the difference. He said it's not that people won't accept that there's some fundamental problems with the criminal justice system, but they won't admit it. So it's not that they won't accept it, but they won't admit it. So they're kind of in denial, but they know it, but they won't admit it. So I'm not sure exactly what those shades of meaning might be, but I took from it, it's the idea that, yeah, they know all too well, but they don't really care, really. So knowing it and not giving a toss about it and not wanting to say anything about it is kind of saying, well, it's not, almost like, yeah, sure, that's just the way it is, not my business, not my place to say. Albeit you're part of it, and you're profiting by those professions, and you don't care that many aspects of them are totally immoral. I just, and I keep saying system, and I've done system, but you can't go to the Court of Appeal or to anybody and say, I want to talk to the system. Can I talk to the system? Can we have an interview? Because I want to challenge you, system, in all the iniquities and all the failures and all the immorality, the moral failings of you, system. Can I meet you in this office? Can we set up a meeting? Well, the system isn't going to turn up. But it's people, it's actual individuals. And I know this is an obvious truism. Those institutions are stuffed with people who are severely lacking in humanity. And I don't buy the excuse that we need to accept the gaslighting from them, that they might individually say, oh, it's just the system, it's not me. Well, then who is it then? You're in positions of power and influence. You could make decisions. You could make decisions on individual cases to refer to refer. I mean, it could have been done already by those judges at the appeal system. You know, from when they requested leave to appeal. They could have done it already. They could have done it. And or are we to believe that if you had them in a room and you said, well, why didn't you do it? And they said, well, personally, I would have done, but the system doesn't let me. Like computer says no. Computer says no. I'm just a total functionary. I've got no judgment, even though I'm nominally a judge. I can't judge. I've got no latitude or ability to actually use my humanity and judgment and intelligence and logic to say, yeah, of course, we've got to refer Lucy Letby to have an appeal here. Something crazily wrong. What I suspect, or I absolutely totally know, it's the case of they just allow themselves to say, oh no, just because of this little bit of the process, that gets me off the hook from doing it, because I've been put here. I've been put here in the Court of Appeal. I wouldn't be here otherwise if I was a person of deep thinking and wisdom and humanity. I wouldn't be here. I'm a functionary of this system, which is here as a gatekeeper to block people getting justice and to keep innocent people in prison, because to keep having appeals that are successful makes us look bad. I mean, I really want to swear and shout and scream, but it's just, it's not incompetence. It's not people that can't do anything. They are there and they could do it. They choose not to do it. But they've been put there because they are certain personality types. Goss is a certain personality type that would inevitably choose to disbar or to not allow Lucy Letby's grievance or the RCPCH report. He didn't have to do that. There's no law of nature that makes him do it, that if he did it, he'd combust or anything. He chose to do that for a very particular purpose. Because he's chosen for the job, I believe. He's absolutely chosen for that particular job. And how many of them are there like that? I mentioned before, Judge John Deed would not have done that. Martin Shaw. But he's fictional. He's fictional. There's something morally deficient, not systemically deficient. The moral deficiency creates the systemic deficiency. The moral deficiency in those individuals, in the Court of Appeal, in the CCRC, creates the systemic deficiency. The moral deficiency in Roberts, this chief constable lying bastard, the moral deficiency in Hughes to know that he's lying as well when he says he followed Avery Avenue and he knows he didn't, and he knows he's rubbish, and he just wanted a big case and a feather in his cap and to get a promotion and thought he was a big shot, thinks he's a big shot. These are moral deficiencies in those individuals. They're not controlled by a system that makes them be that way. They are that way. And it ends up suiting the culture, what becomes the culture of the institutions, made up of morally deficient people, morally distorted or morally absent, absence of morality. Sadists, liars, equivocators, scumbags, greedy, enslaved people to their passions or their desires that just really want to go up the greasy pole even further. So they get the message, oh, well, this is what you've got to do then. If you want to be in the Court of Appeal, you need to be really intransigent. You've got to have no humanity. You've got to have no real sense at all. You just got to block everything to stop anybody getting justice if they're coming through, as many as you can. The more you do that, the better you are at that job. And then they find the right people who will do that for them, who can sleep at night with it and do it day in, day out. There was a bit towards the end there where Mark says he's had an application in for 8 years with the CCRC. That's criminal. That Criminal Cases Review Commission. That institution is a criminally negligent, failing institution. Criminally negligent. Now, how do you punish the institution? No, there are particular individuals that are failing there. I know they got rid of 2 people before. It's not enough. It's not enough. So Vera Baird comes in there. Is she aware that he's someone like Mark and other people, they sent an application in 8 years ago, or he's been with them for 8 years, and they've not made a decision in 8 years of someone's life? If you took over that, you think, no, this is. It's not that it's going a bit wrong. It's meant to be like that. There comes a point when it's not a bug, it's a feature. And the Court of Appeal being what it is, I think Mark puts it in the sense of it's being found wanting. No, that's the feature of it. It's designed to be like that. They pick those people to be like that and to keep it like that forever and a day if they could. But what do we do? I'd like to kick all their fucking asses out of there. A massive clean sweep of everyone that's in there now. Get out. We want some human beings in there, please. We want some human, and in the CCRC, get out. If you can't do something in 8 years, I mean, it's ridiculous that I'm even saying that. I mean, it's just like, if you need to do it, you need to turn around every application within a space of an absolute maximum of a year. But really within 6 months. It's obscene. They're quote unquote failing because they're being allowed to, stroke being designed to. I mean, they hired that bloody guy and put him running Lucy Letby, looking at the application. They hired the guy that was praising Hummingbird. It's perverse. The Court of Appeal are filled with perversity. The perversity being that they want to block justice as much as they possibly can. They're antithetical to justice, to the spirit of justice, to the actuality of justice. And that's not, yes, it becomes the system, but it's actual people with names and stupid fucking wigs on their heads. And stupid titles and hoping for a place in the Lords or some other plum job like Goss has just been given. It's actual bastards, really. If Mark McDonald was there, I don't know if he'd want it, but if he was one of the judges in the Court of Appeal, well, they'd never let him be in there, you see, because he really wants to free innocent people when things have gone wrong, because the system's all to pot, and gets it wrong many, many times, and doesn't care, and has got no conscience about it, because the system has no conscience about it, because the peopling that system in the Court of Appeal and the CCRC have got no conscience, because they're not like Mark McDonald. Because he said, I wake up at night and I think, we've got to free her. We've got to free Lucy Letby. Sees the human being there, suffering, being tortured, being kidnapped by the state. Her life being stolen day by day by day, and already been stolen for 5 or 6 years already, isn't it? It's the wrong people, morally fucked up, deficient people. I don't know where they've come from, but they end up getting chosen. Who's doing the choosing? Who chooses Roberts? Who ensures someone like Roberts gets to the top of Cheshire Police rather than someone that would say to David Davis, okay, I'm hearing what you're saying. We need to look at this. I want to look at this. There's been a lot of criticism. I need to know that we haven't done something terrible here. And God forbid we haven't. But we need to know. We all need to know. That's what an adult would do. But they're not adults. They're like machines. They're like childish machines, both in the Court of Appeal, some kind of weird broken machines in the CCRC that can take 8 years to look at something and still not be finished with it. That's contempt. The spirit of the Court of Appeal that we're hearing, in terms of we don't like to overturn things, that's contempt. What's it contempt for? Us, the people. And what else is it contempt for? Justice itself, truth, reality. It's utter contempt. And having an organisation where something's in the drawer for 8 years and you still haven't, that's total and utter contempt. You should be, I don't know what else to say without losing it. They've got to go. The individuals that are crap and designed to be crap, chosen to be crap in terms of being compared with qualities being people who care about truth, justice, and would feel something about it in the way that Mark McDonald does there, and that Maria Arpa obviously does as well, and can feel empathetically the horror of being falsely convicted and have the whole of your life or extended period of your life or the whole of your life in prison ahead. And you not only did you not do this crime, the crimes didn't even happen. There were no crimes. But there certainly was certain crimes by certain people. There was perjury, and there was a whole bunch of negligence going on as well by those doctors, and corporately by the trust as well, in terms of allowing that unit to operate like that, and maybe even by further extension, by allowing the network to operate like that as well, in the way it was. So. Yeah, I'll leave it there. But it was a very. I'm glad I watched it. It's very visceral. It feels very visceral, and you can tell how Mark is dealing with it. And just imagine being so loathsome that you would report Mark to his professional body for wanting to stand up for actual justice and to get to the truth and to rescue innocent people from the doom that this broken system has doomed them to, and the hideousness that has brought that about through, you could call it a system, but it's a whole collection of individuals with names and positions. They've all been paid a whole bunch of money to do it, Some of them got awards for doing it. Some of them went on telly and they were basking in the light of the media, who was like buttering them up and telling them that they were great. That Mark's the antithesis of that. But imagine being what kind of low life you've got to be because he's threatening the status quo, and the status quo stinks. It's rotten, and it needs to be smashed into a million pieces, and we've got to fucking start again somehow, because they resist. They don't want to improve it. The Court of Appeal doesn't want to be any better than it is. CCRC doesn't want to be any better than it is. The experts that can come up there and just like get a quick payday just calling themselves an experts when they know they're not experts. That they want that income stream to keep going. They don't want a system to be changed so that they wouldn't get a look in. They want it to carry on. The prosecutions are happy to use them if they can see that they're going to be efficacious in prosecuting someone. They don't care. The prosecutors, the judge doesn't care if it's an expert or not. They don't care. Well, we know that. Even when Goss was told by another judge, you can't have this person in your court because his work is worthless. Goss goes, well, no. We'll let the jury decide, shall we? So he doesn't even care whether a judge tells him. There we are. But Mark is a very incredible man, and Maria's an amazing lady. I've only just watched this one video of hers, but I think I'll watch some other ones on her channel over the coming weeks and see what else she's talking about and other things. But yeah, very, very good discussion. And bless Mark McDonald, and more power to him, and protect him because, as he says himself, people are going for him. So may the angels and all our thoughts protect him in his ongoing help of Lucy Letby and the other people that he's helping, Michael Stone and, as he said, and Ben Geen, I believe, as well, and other people as well. So yeah, protect Mark McDonald at all costs. Good night.